Cowboys in the Wild West are one of the most vivid and romanticized chapters in the history of the United States. Their image has become a symbol of freedom, adventure, and an indomitable spirit. It all began in the mid-19th century when American settlers started actively developing the Western territories. After the Civil War in the USA 1861 to 1865, the demand for beef. In 1865, the American Civil War came to a close, marking the end of one of the most tumultuous and transformative periods in United States history. The war, which had begun in 1861, was fought between the Union, the northern states, and the Confederacy, the southern states, that had seceded to preserve slavery. The conflict was rooted in long-standing disputes over states' rights and the institution of slavery. The turning point of the war came with the surrender of Confederate General Robert E. Lee to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia on April 9, 1865. This event effectively ended the armed conflict, although some Confederate forces continued to resist for a short time afterward. The end of the Civil War had profound consequences for the nation. It led to the abolition of slavery with the ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution in December 1865. This amendment declared that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States. However, the post-war period, known as Reconstruction, was fraught with challenges. The nation faced the task of rebuilding the South, integrating formerly enslaved people into society, and addressing the political, economic, and social divisions that had fueled the war. The American Civil War was a war of people, soldiers, leaders, nurses, and families, each with their own story. Young men, some just boys, left their homes with dreams of glory only to face the horrors of battle. Many never returned. Families were torn apart, brothers fighting against brothers, fathers against sons. Generals like Ulysses S. Grant and Robert E. Lee became legends, leading their armies through victories and devastating losses. President Abraham Lincoln fought not just to preserve the Union, but to bring an end to slavery, a cause that made the war even more divisive. For the enslaved, the war meant a chance at freedom, a long-awaited hope for a new life. By 1865, the Union had won, slavery was abolished, and the nation was forever changed. But the scars of war remained, and the fight for true equality was far from over. Their faces, frozen in old photographs, remind us of their sacrifice.
The Crimean War 1853-1856 was a significant military conflict involving the Russian Empire on one side and a coalition of the Ottoman Empire, France, Britain, and the Kingdom of Sardinia on the other. The war was primarily fought on the Crimean Peninsula, as well as in the Caucasus, the Balkans, and the Baltic Sea. The causes of the war were complex, involving struggles for influence over the weakening Ottoman Empire, control of the Black Sea Straits, and religious disputes. Russia sought to expand its influence in the Balkans and secure access to the Mediterranean Sea, which alarmed other European powers, particularly France and Britain, who feared the growth of Russian power. The war began with a conflict between Russia and the Ottoman Empire over the rights of Christian pilgrims in Palestine. Russia, protecting Orthodox Christians, entered into war with the Ottoman Empire. Soon, France and Britain joined the conflict, concerned about Russian expansion. One of the key events of the war was the siege of Sevastopol, the main base of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. The siege lasted over a year and ended with the city's fall, a significant blow to Russia.